Let's see here. What's on YouTube? Boxing. 1 second, my people. 1 second. 1 second. We're gonna get going in just 1 second. Trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this. Make sure my shit is live and connected. All right, let's see here. All right, fellas. So look here, man. We're gonna talk a little boxing here. I'm trying to see if I can get this goddamn live shit going. This shit. Let's see here. Trying to get all the aesthetics to work properly before we get to talking. I hate doing shit when it ain't right. I can always cut that shit out of the video if I needed to. Anyways, let's see. One second. Oh, goddamn it, go and connect. Damn. Maybe I have to just go and play it back. I don't like this shit, man. What the fuck? Can't get this shit to connect, bro. Tuesdays, take this banner off. Take that off. Because that ain't working no more. Let's go. Some style I want. I don't like that one. Let's see. I don't like that one. It's too big. Let's do this one. Right, let's go right here. Come get that work. It's Boxing's Truth Serum. That's what we're going to label this. Gonna label this Boxing Truth Serum. Come get that work. Who want the work? That's what we need to find out. Who really want the work? We got a lot of people talking about they want the work, but do they actually want the work? Got a lot of pretenders out here in this world. That ain't one of them. Come on, y'all see I'm trying to get online. Don't come on. Who want that work? Boxing Truth Serum. Who wants that work? That's what we're trying to figure out. Who actually want the work? All these guys claim the fame, call themselves calling each other out, but we never get to the goods, man. We never get to the goods, and when we do finally get to the goods, usually it's too late. We got a guy that Turkey that got in the sport, and he making these fights happen. I like Turkey. From what I see, I like Turkey. I think Turkey about the no nonsense. You know, you say you guys want to fight, you always talking about it's the business. Well, when they say business, they talk about the money. That's what they talk about, and we know he got plenty of it. And so he put it out there. Okay, I'm gonna pay you. You know what I mean? So now, you know, what's your excuse now? Like Tarver told Roy, what's your excuse now, Roy? Now that you got the bag, what's your excuse now? Why we can't get these fights to happen? Now you got these other fighters look like they're deflecting. You know what I'm saying? The guy he offered sit down and talk with Tank. Of course, Tank is an Al Heyman guy, and he's getting paid very handsomely with Al Heyman. But I think if he was over there with Turkey, he might get a bigger bag. You know, instead of doing all these crazy demands, give me 3 and 4 Ferraris and all this old weirdo shit. Why would you even somebody who's putting money on you see people getting money, and I know you getting money too, but you never cut off a source. You know what I'm saying? You add to it. That's what you should do when you're talking about this boxing game, because boxing is long overdue for some type of commission, man. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's how I feel about that. This free was a free for all market with I got the money, I put the fight on, and we never seem to really get the fights that we want when we want them. We always get them years and years afterward. Like if we could have got that Terrence Crawford Earl Spence fight before Earl had that accident, instead of them letting it try to marinate and oh, I'm gonna fight all the fighters on this side of the street first, and then I'm gonna come take your belt. You know, what could that fight have looked like? Potentially, had Earl never had experienced that car accident. The pundits want to know. Yeah, everyone want to know because no one clearly that wasn't Earl. I mean, I'm not gonna say he might have lost anyway the way that looked because that was so lopsided and so one sided. Terrence was clearly the more dominant of the two, the more skillful. But I'm just wondering if that trauma didn't take a lot out of Errol when before they met. You know, and I give Crawford credit. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he didn't want to fight him right off the accident. He let him, get some fights in, see if he was, himself, and then went in and beat the hell out of him. You know what I'm saying? Which is, it's what you should do. So you get all the credit from me, regardless of, what some might say. Oh, Earl looked like he was out of it, or he looked like he was, that didn't look like him. He didn't look right about the eyes or whatever. Hey man, look here. That ain't Terrence's fault. Whatever was going on with him, that was his goal, objective, to get himself in the best possible condition and shape, mentally, physically. You know what I'm saying? And he stepped in that ring and to square him up because, if not, you're gonna get what you got, which is a commenced ass whooping. Because that was a commenced ass whooping as far as I'm concerned. Who the fuck is calling? Let's turn this shit off. This is some bullshit. My bad, y'all. Fuck is calling my goddamn phone? Let's do it like that. Yeah, so anyways, motherfuckers always want to call you when you're doing shit. They don't want shit. Anyways. Yeah, so anyways, that was I just want to go back and touch on that for a minute because I want what everybody else wants. They want to see the best fight the best. And we don't want to wait years and years and years for it to happen. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that way, especially when you're a champ and the guy we want to see you fight is your what they call it, they got so many goddamn belts now out there. He's next in line for the shot at the title. Interim champ. That's what they call him, an interim champ. Now I guess they give belts for being interim champs and people celebrating that. I would be like, look here, I don't want no goddamn interim belt. I want the real thing. And What a pleasure it would be if this thing with Dana White and Turkey Al Sheikh really jumped off to whereas we can get all participants to participate. Somehow you can get uh, one belt per division with one champ defending the belt to whoever's next in line according to the rankings. Now, speaking of rankings, the rules state that if you haven't fought in a 12-month calendar year, right, you're not supposed to be ranked. So why is uh, Edwin De Los Santos still 13 and getting a shot to fight Keyshawn Davis? And because we know the issues as he's developed, he had been fighting when he was out the ring, blood clots and shit like that. We know Edwin is a cold dude, and to me personally, I didn't think Shakur beat him. If none, I would have gave it a draw myself. If I wouldn't have just gave it to Edwin because I don't think Keyshawn did. I mean, not Keyshawn, but Shakur did anything in that fight. This is me personally. This is my personal opinion. I don't think he did anything personally in that fight to win a decision in that fight. I saw the guy that was trying to make the fight, and I saw him jumping 4 feet damn near out the ring, trying to get away. He said he had, hand issues or whatever, but once again, that is not your opponent's problem that you come in the fight injured. That's your problem, and you should have pulled out the goddamn fight if you knew, you weren't going to be able to give a good performance. And I really didn't think he win. I think he got favoritism, like most fighters do when he's a name and other guy isn't. And so they tend to lean that way for the decision in fights when that happened. We just saw one last weekend. A boy Terrell Gachet put on that was the best fight I seen out of Terrell Gachet as far as output, punching output. Terrell usually is really a very patient fighter when he in the ring. Sorry to jump around, y'all, but that just made me think about that. He's really a patient guy. He don't really throw too many punches. He's more of an effective type of, throwing effective type of shots and very conservative in the ring. But Terrell was letting him go. Combinations. I mean, I don't know who this kid is that they gave the win to. I know he lost the fight before that, and he should have 2 straight losses. That's a gift. He should have gift baskets for all the referees or all the judges that judge that fight. He should give them all gift baskets. Go ahead and just spend. Go ahead and get them Christmas gifts right now, because that right for sure was disgraceful. That's the problem with boxing too. And we try to say, well, why is it that we always why does that problem seem to come about more frequent than lately than it has before? I think boxing needs to be everything needs an upgrade, right? Everything needs to. I think the judges should be, in my opinion, they should be watching it from either in a room by themselves with a monitor so that they can see it from all angles. That's televised, like we do, like we can see it. Because if you're on one side of the ring and the fighters are fighting on the other side of the ring, you're going to miss something, especially when you're looking up at the fighters. Now, here's the thing: if this is just something I thought of years and years ago. What if the judges were on a higher platform, looking down upon the ring, right? Judging it from there rather than looking up. If you were looking down, you could see it in a more of a three-dimensional way rather than looking up, which is more of a one-dimensional. Same thing. I'm gonna tell you why that's so important. It's the same thing in football when your coaches and your offensive coordinators are upstairs in the booth looking down, calling the game. You can see the other side of the field. You can see what's going on the other side of the field when you're looking from an up perspective rather than looking either on a level platform or looking from beneath them. Makes sense? Think about that. So if nothing else, if you're not gonna put all the judges in a, like maybe having them in a secret booth or secret room with a monitor where they can watch and judge and score the fight, you know, all evenly, because putting one judge on one side of the ring, another judge on another side of the ring, and another judge on the other side, and you only got three, there's four sides. So why not have four judges? I never understood that either. Why is there only three judges? You got four sides to a damn ring, and you got three judges on uh, uh, um, three sides of the ring, rather than and that fourth side doesn't have anybody over there. You're going to miss something. You're going to miss a punch. You're going to miss something that land or potentially didn't land, look like it land. Sometimes fighters a lot of times parry punches. You know what I'm saying? So when you swing and they move, it didn't actually land, but you think that it lands, so you count it as a land. You count it as uh, you counted that it land, and as a score. You know what I mean? You give them a point for connecting when it actually didn't connect. And I just think that's a lot of times that's some of the problem. But we know politically, right, that that's not always the case. Sometimes if a guy just doesn't have the name and the money behind him, he don't get the decision unless he knocked the dude out, right? But once again, I always tell people the sport's not called knockout; it's called boxing, right? And so if you outbox your opponent, clearly you should win. There's been some gray areas. You can get you know 10 different people have 10 different perspectives on watching the fight, right? All and they always go, well, what were you looking for? And that's another thing too. Boxers should know the judges that's judging the fight and what they're looking for, right? So that would be a great helpful hint to know, what are you looking for in this boxing match? Are you one who likes a fighter to come forward? Come forward? Do you like the fighter to, or are you one who likes to you know fight in a phone booth? Uh, um, Defensive, be very defensive. Counter punching. I mean, what's body punching? That's always underrated. Body punches, except like in the Devin Haney Lomachenko fight, where the body punches essentially won day of that fight, I believe, because they were effective, right? So what are you looking for? And then you prepare according, right? Uh, that's just because it's not a sport that goes off of where you can see a scoreboard. Where you score a touchdown or you hit a home run or you put a ball through the hoop and you understand what the score is. You know, so that in itself would be very helpful. I think it should be something added to to the sport. I mean, the sport is a dinosaur, man. And yeah, everybody loved the gladiator perspective of getting in the ring and two guys getting there facing off and you know going at it. But everything has evolved. Even sports now have replays, right? So now you can tell if the guy feet actually were in bounds, both feet were in bounds when he caught the ball, and not touching the white chalk. You know what I mean? Or if that was a legit foul, or did he just get all ball? You know what I mean? Or did the ball go inside the pole, or did it just miss to be a foul ball? You know what I mean? So all these things have evolved in sports. So why hasn't boxing? I mean, they've tried to replay, and it hasn't always worked. I can remember some fights not too long ago where a replay could have helped the other fighter out, being where it wasn't called a knockdown when it was called knockdown, or vice versa. Specifically, let's talk about the Tank fight. Did he take a knee? The rules say if you turn away and take a knee after a punch, that looked like submission to me. That should have been ruled a knockdown. Not to mention, your corner is not allowed to come up on the apron and wipe you down. in the middle of a round. That's a disqualification. Now, these are some things that, and then you got everybody pondering why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? Well, we know why it didn't happen. Because it was Tank Davis. He's the face of boxing, out here. You know what I mean? Him and Canelo. So, but it's a difference from being just the face of boxing and persuading the judges or getting a favor. But that's just outright damn near cheating. You know what I mean? When you take a knee and your trainer come up on the apron and wipe your face off, essentially you call it a timeout. And I've never seen no one but the referee call a timeout in a boxing match. He's the only one who's allowed to do it. You are not allowed to do it, no matter who you are. And if they would have if Roach would have got that, either way he would have won. If he'd have got the knockdown, he'd have won on points. If he got disqualification, he would have won because he was disqualified. No one wanted to see him win like that, but hell, it was error forced by Tank, not by Roach. You know what I'm saying? So, why not get the benefit of the doubt? He threw a punch, whether it landed or didn't land. It seemed that it was effective enough to whereas, I don't know, when you say grease got in his eye, I think maybe, the little end of that glove got in his eye. And probably, was a weird feeling. He took a knee. But that's a 10-8. You know what I mean? That's a 10-8 round. But, I digress. Anyway, so boxing just needs what they say a facelift. Some will call more than facelift. You always should do things to enhance whatever it is, whatever sport there is. There's always things that can be added to it to make it better. College football just took a leap this year of having a 12-team playoff, right? Granted, it should be 16 teams. Like, I don't know why this year it goes up to 14. The experiment of, what it should be, why you just don't make it. What works. It works for every other sport. You know what I mean? So it's not really, you're not really looking to see, will this work or will that work? I mean, hell, you're going up to 14 this year. So why you just do 12? You could have started off at 14. It could have been 2 more teams in the tournament. You know what I mean? But, whatever. So everything, like I said, gets a facelift or an upgrade to it. Whether it be college football this year, NFL, they can just do away with that goddamn kickoff. That's some bullshit. They just fucked up the special teams. Anyways, now that's one thing. So hopefully they switch that shit back because that shit is awful. You might as well just put the ball on the 30 or 25-yard line and just go from there and just do away with special teams. But if you do that, you're taking away jobs from the NFL players because a lot of them just play special teams, right? But hell, they getting a check essentially just to run down the goddamn field because the ball's being kicked out the end zone every damn time. Anyways, so you get a check every week, 30 what, $10,000-$15,000 check every week just to run 40 yards down the field. Shit, that ain't a bad gig. Anyways, but yeah, so once again, boxing. Let's get back on boxing. So boxing should, I think it need a commission. You know what I mean? I need an organized commission. I need to not be in so many these damn all these goddamn belts out here. These damn we got the WBC, we got a silver belt, regular belt. I'm glad they got rid of that goddamn franchise shit. That shit confusing. All kind. I mean, just and you doing this to what? So you can charge fees, sanctioning fees for these people to hold the belts. And WBA regular champ, super champ. It's just too much. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. And I get it. It makes it more advantageous if you do have more champions that you can have more championship fights rather than being one belt. But we never get a chance to see. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but we hardly ever get a chance when the fight when they don't let the motherfucker marinate right for years and years to see who's the real champ at that weight division. You know what I mean? That's what we want to know. We want to know who's the best of the best. We want to see the fight. We want to see the best play the best. We get that in every other sport. At the end of the season, the best always plays the best, regardless if they didn't play each other in the regular season. And uh, at some point, we always get the best playing the best, and that's what we want, right? The best fighting the best. Um, what y'all think about Crawford and Canelo? I got a couple things I think about Crawford and Canelo. First of all, Crawford, I love Crawford, man. Crawford is a dog, man. Ain't no question about that. That dude, and it's kind of hard to go against a brother that all he do is win on in every day. Hell, he probably win throwing darts. But all this dude seemed to do is win, win, and win again. And he's been very impressive in his career, in his fights, and almost just dominating. To be honest with you, because he dominated the whole welterweight division. You know, I didn't think that. Who the hell would thought he would stop Sean Porter? I know Kenny threw the towel in, but he was knocked down a couple times in that fight, and you know, I didn't see that coming. I didn't think nobody could ever stop Sean Porter. Sean Porter is like a shit. He like the Energizer Bunny. Plus, you know, and he got a little careless, in the fight. But I thought he was fighting a hell of a fight until he got dropped that first time. I think a little maybe overzealous, and his feet got squared. That first knockdown, it hit him in like the chest or the neck area. It didn't even hit him in the face. He kind of like jumped. He was throwing a punch, jumping up off both feet square, which should never be. And that was more of an off balance type of thing. Terrence caught him with a good timing shot, and he definitely wasn't hurt off of that. And the second one was on the back of the head, you know what I mean, which could have been ruled, it hit him on the back of the head, which he went down. But he didn't look like he was hurt to me. And Kenny was like, I think Kenny pulled that, Kenny got a Napoleon complex. I don't care what Sean say. His pop's got a Napoleon complex. If you don't do it my way, this is what you get. And he didn't train the way Kenny wanted him to train. He wanted him to train like he did for the Spence fight, and he didn't. Probably because Sean knew he had one foot out in the door and one foot out. He was going to make that. He said that was going to be his last fight, regardless, one way or another. But you know, so he threw the towel in, at first sign of trouble. But I would like to see that fight finish out though, because I think Sean's enough of a dog, you know what I mean, that he don't like to lose either. You know what I mean? He gonna give you his all. And I thought if he, maybe maybe Kenny right, maybe if he had trained like Kenny wanted him to, it might have been a different outcome. But you know, uh, who knows? For whatever it was, Terrence did what he needed to do, and he won the fight. And the one we missed was Keith Thurman and Terrence Crawford. I think that would have been a better fight than all the rest of them. I think Thurman, and I say a lot of stuff about Thurman, but Thurman is a dog, right? And Thurman ain't going out. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna just whoop him like that. He's smart. The boy's smart, even though he not that good at taking body shots, but he know how to fight, man. He got enough dog in him where it ain't gonna be no one sided fight. If you beat him, you beat him, but it ain't gonna be no one sided. It ain't gonna be. I know it wouldn't look like how I did with Errol, right? With Errol is just beat from start to finish, right? Like I was like, stop that fight two rounds before it stopped. Before he stopped it, shit, because he had nothing left. Shit, we saw that. Especially with that one time he hit him and he damn near flew across the damn ring. That was crazy. And then he over there talking to Jamel, talking about you next. That'd be an interesting fight, though. I'd like to see uh, Crawford get a tune-up at least 160 before going up to 168. Because if he don't, that ain't gonna be much of a fight. I mean, we love, like, he's gonna show you dog. because that's who he is. But you know, realistically, Canelo's too big for him, dog. You know what I mean? It's just too. It's more of a what they call a exhibition. It's gonna look like an exhibition when it's all over. You know, similar to when Jamel got in the ring with Canelo. Everybody got a plan till you get hit. You get cracked one good time. You gonna your whole game plan just shit. This motherfucker really can crack. They really, yeah, exactly. Because he's 3 weight divisions above you, essentially, right? 3 weight division. You coming up. You only fought at 154, and against Madrimov, you you won the fight, but you didn't look great. And I'm supposed to think that you're going to automatically look better than fighting Canelo in your very next fight, damn near a whole year later, and then you're a whole year older, be 38 by the time that fight. I don't know, man. Anyways, I'm gonna step off for a minute. And I'm gonna jump back into this. I got a thing I gotta do. Anyway.